We're live, Leonard. Don't say anything bad.
We're live?
But don't say anything bad yet, because nobody can hear us in the chat room. So if you're going to say something bad, you should wait till the chat room can hear you.
Chat room just filled up. Okay.
Everybody always comes right on the buzzer.
Right on the
They're
buzzer.
the kid in school that walked in and sat down right as the buzzer was ringing.
Okay.
Anyway, you can't hear us yet, but we're so thankful that you come to join us in the mornings. 9 a.m. Move that. We got 9 a.m. every day of the week. We talk fantasy baseball every day of the year, right?
That's correct.
We talked about not doing the show tomorrow, but...
Yeah, Christmas Day, very difficult to do the show.
We haven't missed a podcast in...
No, we have.
No. You don't, but you can't name one.
No.
You have never just not shown up at 9 a.m.
I'll be
in like
here.
20 years.
I'll be sitting in the chat room. How's
it's
that?
not just a short time either. It's 20 years, and we are live, so you can hear us in the chat room. And what we were talking about is that it's 9 a.m. We love that you all come and join us every day at 9. Okay, we're on. We're live.
We're live. Good for us.
What can
Good
they
for
do?
us.
They know that we're live.
We are live. Boston Paul, Brewer Jim, James Caprion, Malpal, Roto Lady. We're on. And
Roto Lady on X at Roto Lady.
Yep, the day before Christmas, and wishing everyone a very happy holiday. Chris Gallo is here as well.
Here's the thing. I really like being on X now. I feel like I fit in now because it's actually a lot of different opinions that were not allowed before, and I don't feel like I'm all alone on an island trying to fight off the angry mob.
Yep.
So there's a lot of talk on Twitter, on X, by the way. It's Roto Lady. Trevor Bauer is being discussed. And there's just a lot of people that refuse to get off of the roller coaster. They took the media for what it was, even though I told you from day one, the reports about Bauer chose to publish this accuser side only. There were hospital records that the Athletic had at the moment that they took her side of the story only. Bauer tried to sue the Athletic. He tried to sue other outlets because they straight up, flat out lied about him. There's people that have chosen to just continue to go along with that theory, and they're saying stuff, but it doesn't bother me anymore. It doesn't bother me when they talk, because as far as I'm concerned, it was a huge wake-up call to know that the media is full of vultures. If they don't like a person, or the person happens to disagree with their beliefs, they will cancel and they will enjoy wrecking your life. It is not okay. It never was okay. But there's so much more support for Bauer. And it makes me happy.
Let me say hello to Boston Paul and Brewer Jim. Danny Fuller. Eddie Heckman has joined us. James Caprion, Malpal is here.
Good morning to Malpal.
Good morning to Malpal.
Boston Paul,
today?
Eddie Heckman, Danny Fuller,
That's
James
right.
K.
Tommy Johnson
Turd.
is here. Okay.
Tommy Johnson, thank you for following me. Okay, he was my 1,400 follower.
Who's that?
Tommy Johnson, number
get
1,400.
How about that?
It's great. Okay.
So here's a couple of things. Right now, for the past couple of weeks, we have watched baseball, and yet only about 8 teams have participated. It's
8? How about just one?
Well,
in the Royals. I got to give the Royals.
You had only 8 teams. That Major League Baseball.
Which 8 teams have been active?
Has been I don't.
You got the Dodgers and the Royals.
You got the Dodgers and the Royals.
That's it.
You have teams that have been in there.
Nobody's doing it. San Diego Padres finally did something.
But there's been a handful of teams. Let me put it that way.
Okay. Anyway, Bowden says the Dodgers are going all in on a closer.
And rightfully so. The Dodgers are going all in.
So he mentions Clase and Hader.
Yes.
there's a big difference between these guys, and I don't understand why anybody would go after Clase when Hader is available, except there's one thing that Hader has a stain about. He refuses to pitch any inning except for the 9th inning. Other than that, dude, he's a free agent, so you get to choose how long you want to sign the guy. Emmanuel Clase is under contract for the next 5 years with Cleveland.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's going to be somebody big. Let's put it that way. It may not be either one of these two guys, but it's going to be somebody.
It seems Josh Hader to me is the logical one.
Somebody big going to the Dodgers, and that makes a lot of sense. If you take a look at the Dodgers, their bullpen absolutely needs a little help. You know, they just worked out their starting rotation in their bullpen now. Who do they have? They've got
Matsui,
Evan Phillips. Bruce Start Gatorol, Caleb Ferguson, Joe Kelly, Ryan Yarbrough, Daniel Hudson, and that's about it. So the Dodgers really need, you know, if you're doing all that, Yamamoto, and you got Ohtani, you got to get your bullpen.
So yesterday, Joe Kelly's wife gets a freaking Porsche dropped off at her front porch.
Really?
Ohtani freaking bought Joe Kelly's wife a Porsche because she was instrumental in helping Ohtani get the number 17.
That's very nice.
Because it used to be Joe Kelly's. So a freaking... What do you think of that? I think it's pretty cool. I saw the video or else I probably wouldn't even believe it's true.
Well, I'm happier knowing Leonard Donaldson and Laura are both, and Mary are all in the chat room.
So what about the Padres? I've tried to talk about them 3 times. The Padres Twitter, as Malpel says, is going crazy over this guy. I mean, one of them even... it had to be parody, dude, but I'm thinking it might not be because these people want their team to do good so bad. This guy said that Matsui was the best signing on the West Coast so far, or this was the best Japanese signing on the West Coast. But he's a mid-reliever, this guy.
But they've got, all right, so here's the story.
He might not even be a closer.
That's the whole point. He's being advertised, hitting the free agent market with a 5-year, $28 million contract, and they have he's been one of the most prolific closers in the history of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. Signed a 5-year, $28 million deal with San Diego. So here's
5 freaking years. Why?
Here's the question: Are you paying for Matsui? You know, we have backed off of spending a lot of money for closers. But this guy is a highlight film. His name means something now. And the question is, they paid $28 million for 5 years. Not crazy. What are you paying for?
I think Matsui owes Ohtani and Yamamoto a Porsche. Because his contract would have never been that high unless, I swear, I cannot prove this is true. What about Yamamoto with the Dodgers? I go back and forth now with people on X, and it's very nice. I had this guy yesterday talking about Yamamoto, and the thing is, I see Yamamoto in a fantasy perspective. I do not care about what he did in Japan, although I know it was excellent. I know it was better than Kodai Senga. I would rather have Kodai Senga in fantasy for this year because I do not know what in the world is going to happen with this guy. They say, well, they make very relevant points. They say that over the last 10 years, there's been several very good Japanese pitchers, such as Tanaka, Ohtani, who's the other? There's Tanaka and the guy that pitched in San Diego. He went from Texas to San Diego, the Japanese guy. He was good too. But all of these guys have had, the only one that's been good every season is Ohtani. Some of them come over here and they have a 3.9 ERA the first year. And what Yamamoto is going for in fantasy, it's my argument that it is too costly with too much risk. But as far as how good Yamamoto is going to be, you never know. The guy looks like a phenom, okay? His numbers look fabulous.
Tommy Johnson talks about Yu Darvish.
Yes, it was you, Darvish. It's
Yes.
exactly who I'm thinking of.
That's who
So
you're thinking of.
go ahead, Leonard. I know I'm getting annoying today. Why am I blabbing so
You're
much?
very annoying, okay? So the question let's go to the chat room. Who would you rather have? It's your pick. Would you rather have Yamamoto or would you rather have Matsui?
Kodai
Okay?
Senga.
I'm sorry. Would you rather have Senga or would you have Yamamoto? Senga
So-
or Yamamoto, okay?
Anyway, it's nice to have these discussions because there's a lot of good points made about why Yamamoto is going to be the next great thing, and so there's lots of reason to believe that. It's the reliability factor in fantasy is completely different situation.
Yamamoto has not pitched yet in the major leagues. He's being built up to be a superstar pitcher. Would you rather have Yamamoto or would you rather have Cody Senga, who actually had a very nice season with the Mets last year? So the question is, and come on, we need some answers in the chat room, who would you prefer to have on your team, Yamamoto and Senga?
I would feel better if the Mets actually got another starting pitcher, dude, besides Kodai Senga. I mean, it can't always be... Look, the Mets are going to do something, and I'm praying for Bauer coming to the Mets. It would be the best Christmas gift for me. I would get to go see him with Laura, okay, because it's right up the road from us.
So far, the chat room, Eddie Heckman, Boston Paul. Mitchell says not Senga. Eddie Heckman says
Mitchell
Senga.
loves to take chances on unproven players, though. And there's a lot of people out there that do. He gets lucky. In fact, young players are much more productive than they used to be. When I first started fantasy, the young players were absolutely not to be relied upon. You know me, I'm Miss Avoid. I like sturdy players, you know, so whatever that's worth. But as the years have gone by, the young players, the unproven players have been more successful, right?
That's what it seems like. So we'll see what happens. So the New York Mets, who finished fourth in the National League East, are hit with a record luxury tax. It's a record.
Yes.
Of this. Everybody's saying the Mets aren't spending any money.
Well, they already did this crap, right? They're stuck
101
with
million
this.
luxury tax, okay?
What do you...
And 8 teams this year are paying a luxury tax.
Do you think that this is... I mean, shouldn't the Mets now at least make some moves? I know everybody's talking about the Yankees getting pitching. They're always talking about Montgomery, the Yankees, but the Mets really need some pitching.
Well, the Mets came in this year thinking that they're just going to open their pocketbook, but it didn't. It didn't quite
work,
happen,
right? So there's a red flag for all you Dodgers lovers who think that these two players are going to win you a World Series.
And that's why the free agents right now, we're into the free agent season. There are a number of good free agent pitchers,
Okay.
and the Mets have said they're not going to just go after the next best pitcher, Blake Snell.
So
right.
MLB trade rumors, or this is actual MLB.com.
Yes.
I guess they wouldn't. The free agent, I really wish I would have seen this yesterday before Yamamoto got signed. Was he on the free agent list? Because, once again, they don't put Bauer on free agent list.
I don't know.
They just act like he's... I know he doesn't play in the... Maybe I'm just biased. All right, let's move on from that. I'm done with Bauer talk today.
Well, you got Jordan Montgomery, who I'm told that the Texas Rangers would love to get him back. Aaron Nola looks like he signed a...
Yes, Aaron Nola signed.
Aaron Nola.
Okay, so is Yamamoto on this list?
And you have Brandon Woodruff, who's been injured. The Mets will stay away from him.
Marcus Stroman. How about him? He already pitched for the Mets. He's perfect. Look at him on the list. He hasn't signed yet.
My sources have told me that Cincinnati is the team that's looking carefully at Marcus Stroman. Luis Giolito, that's not the name that the Mets want to sign. The Mets want to sign 2 top free agents.
I love Marcus Stroman back to the Mets. And Jordan Montgomery, bring him on. Let's go. Jordan Montgomery is a great... For me, I think he would be an add to any team. But Marcus Stroman's already pitched for the Mets. He was a ground ball guy, so he does good there. all in on Marcus Stroman to the Mets, please.
Yep, Marcus Stroman to
See,
the Mets.
they do list the Japanese guys, but they don't list Bauer. This is unbelievable. They list these guys that have never played in the United States. They don't list Bauer.
Interesting.
Oh, they hate his guts. All right, so here's how we talk about Walker Buehler, another part of the Dodgers rotation that I think, after I looked at this note and I started looking at Walker Buehler, I'm saying to myself, this guy is going to be ready to play on day one. He will be ready to pitch. We all forget about this guy. I get that he's been out. I get that he was supposed to come back last year and be like the savior of the, down the stretch.
Yeah.
He was all hyped up that he was coming back, and he didn't. But you do remember what he did last time he pitched.
But I will tell you right now.
207 innings, 2.47 ERA, a whip under 1. And they talk about as if they're going to return him slowly. But how can it be that he's been out for a year and a half with Tommy John and he has to come back slowly? This guy is probably chomping at the bit to be ready for spring training.
But you're right. They're going to bring him back slowly.
No, I don't think they will.
They have made that announcement. They're going to bring him back slowly, which means that the teams looking at some of these pitchers are just going to have to be very careful.
This is what they said. The Dodgers have a decision to make about how to handle Walker Buehler's workload in his return from his second Tommy John surgery. The addition of Glasnow and Yamamoto makes it more likely he will be slow played and start the season late. I do not agree with that. So that's a person's opinion. They're more likely that he's going to be slow played. I don't think that ever came from the management over there, but I would keep an eye on Walker Buehler. Right now, his ADP is nearing 100. That's kind of low, actually, but he's only ranked 230 overall. Walker Buehler, depending on where he gets drafted, could be a little diamond in the coal mine, dude.
Okay.
All right, moving on.
The Red Sox are showing strong interest in bringing back James Paxton.
I'm sure that will make the Red Sox fans very pleased.
I don't know.
Okay,
King Hap, you like that? Is King Hap here?
Boston Paul is here. He's probably cursing
and
he's probably cursing at his coffee right now, dude, because of that. Because James Paxton, the veteran left-hander, okay, 17 runs, 16 earned over his last 3 outings. He finished the season with a 4.5 ERA. He's 36 years old. He is a lefty, but come on, man. So the Red Sox, they got Nick Pivetta there too. Nick Pivetta started the season horrible, but he finished the season good once the Red Sox put him in the bullpen. He's an effector, right? He could pitch more than 1 inning, Nick Pivetta. Right. But he was not good as a starter. He's good as a middle reliever. Anyway, so you said 8 clubs are going to be busted over the luxury tax threshold.
Yep, in 2023, 8 teams we're going to hit the luxury tax.
I would like you guys to guess the 8 teams. Obvious ones are the Dodgers, the Mets, okay? But
the Padres are up.
Don't tell them all.
Nobody's going to guess 8.
They're going to make guesses, and I'll check them off as we go.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so we already gave you 2 answers. I just gave another answer, so there's 4 answers we gave out of 8. The Dodgers, the Yankees, the Padres, and the Mets. We gave you the 4. You have to guess the other 4 teams that are over the tax threshold going into the season. There's 4 more teams. We have the Mets, the Padres, the Yankees, and the Dodgers all over. Now, Don Newcomb, the first guy to ever win a Cy Young.
That was my trivia question.
Oh.
Who was the first guy ever to win the Cy Young? Okay.
Oh, shoot. I'm sorry, Leonard.
It
didn't say trivia.
Highlighted. Okay.
Oh, that's...
that's...
All right, so Lenny made this one. In our notes, Lenny took that sentence and he made the text like size 25 or so.
Yes, it was very important that I don't give the answer.
That was supposed to let me know that was trivia.
That's right.
Okay, well, now we know, Leonard.
So that's trivia.
So it also says Yoshi Yamamoto will save about $7.2 million in California taxes and $1.3 million in federal income tax with his $50 million signing bonus in 2024. So these numbers just get thrown around like it's nothing, man, but it's a lot of money. Anyway, these tax police are going to be getting their money.
Hold it! Guess Rosetta got the Don Newcomb answer. Go ahead.
Well, all right. Well, we already told the answer.
I know, but guess Rosetta, whoever that is.
Let's see some more guesses here. Who do we have?
All right, go ahead. Nobody's guessing.
Are these people even listening to us?
I don't
Phillies,
think so.
Phillies. They said the Phillies. The Blue Jays, Texas. We got them all. Texas, Blue Jays, Phillies. It's not the Astros. Come on, turd. Turd. Hello. You know the answer. It's the Rangers. You got the Phillies, the Blue Jays, the Braves, and the Rangers. That's who it is. The Mets, the Padres, the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Phillies, the Blue Jays, the Braves, and the Rangers. They're only over by $1,820,000. No, they are only going to have to pay $1.8 million in fines, while the Mets have to pay $100 million in fines. Okay, that's a huge difference, but the Rangers are over, if you could believe it. I feel like if you're already over, just go ahead and sign some guys so that you can actually live up to the money that you're spending.
Well, the most important thing now is that Major League Baseball gets off its high horse and starts talking about more teams than they have in the past couple of weeks. What?
If they're not doing anything, what's to talk about?
But you can't. It's not a surprise that they're not doing anything.
So why
Baseball
do they
should be aware that they cannot, for a 4-week period, only be talking about 6 or 7 teams. So now it's there are still some players. There are still some players.
Are we going back to the free agent list?
We go back to the free agent list.
Okay.
Use the free agent.
Let me talk to the chat room for a second.
All
Let's
right,
see what they're saying.
Go ahead.
All right. Mitchell Hartson, he says Senga had greater than 200 Ks, but the ceiling is higher for Yamamoto. And that, absolutely. And yes, Mitchell Hartson brings up Oscar Colas. In a couple different leagues, Mitchell drafted Oscar Colas very early. In fact, he helped me with my Dynasty League grab Oscar Colas in the re-up draft because I didn't really know about this guy. So, yes, Mitch, Oscar Colas drafted in the 5th round. And it's not stupid, though, if you look. A lot of people, some of these rookies do work out. And, you had good reasoning for liking Oscar Colas. He just didn't get a good chance.
All right, let me throw out some players.
Hold on. Let me give Mitch some more credit. He drafted Volpe really early, too, and Volpe did work out. That's all I want to say, Leonard.
Okay. Free agent. You can only guess. Just like the trading thing, you can't really tell. And just like the writers, they just get some hints.
J.D. Martinez.
Well, I've gotten some hints from a couple of sources, and let's see how I do, okay?
Yeah.
The J.D. Martinez that you mentioned, okay?
Yes.
J.D. Martinez, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think? J.D. Martinez, I believe Arizona is going to get J.D. Martinez. Okay.
Why is there so many Martinez's at RotoWire? First of all, I want to ask a question. He's still available. He's with JP Martinez. JD Martinez is who we're talking about.
JD Martinez.
Should the
All-star.
Dodgers just re-sign this guy? They already know he can hit. He did a great job for them. For what it is that he's going to get paid is not going to be.
Yes,
do you think the Dodgers should just? Do they have a DH now? That's my question.
No, the Dodgers need a closer. The Dodgers have plenty of pitching. They need that closer.
What about DH?
And the Dodgers have DH. They have DHs, but they need a closer. And that's the big thing.
I hear some talk about the Dodgers. Of course, why wouldn't you bring up the fact that Cody Bellinger is a free agent? because the Dodgers could use Cody Bellinger too. Are they? I don't know. He did a bad job for the Dodgers in his last season, so I don't know really if that was a great fit at that moment for Cody Bellinger, but he did his best work there.
Atlanta's got Spencer Strider, Max Fried, a lefty, Charlie Morton, and Bryce Elder.
Yes.
The information that I get say that the Atlanta Braves are going after Indiana State's one and only Sean Manaea, okay?
What about A.J. Smith-Shawver? He was on the depth chart, and he needs a chance to do some good up here in Atlanta.
Sean Manaea, okay? Look, they've already made some moves, but Sean Manaea might be a very good left-handed pitcher. So, if you have an opportunity to pick up some of these players, very hard to do. But it's been very loud in Atlanta that they're looking for that left-handed pitcher. Okay.
So what do you think about people drafting right now when there's so many free agents? It could really help you. Okay, it's all about the strategy. You got to go in there and you got to think to yourself: these people aren't signed, but they're definitely going to get signed. Guys like Montgomery. I don't know where he's going in drafts, but you have to assume he's not going as high because he doesn't have a team at the moment, and people just aren't as smart and knowledgeable as our chat room people.
Okay.
Right? Am I right?
You are 100% right.
Okay.
And right now I'm guessing on some of the free agents.
Giolito.
Well, I take Giolito and I take Michael Wacha.
Michael Wacha.
Could also sign with Baltimore. That's what I'm hearing.
All right.
Also Giolito. Baltimore has a choice. They could sign a big pitcher.
Michael Wacha is Kansas City bound.
Yeah, he is.
Yes, he is.
Is he there already?
Yes, he's in Kansas City waiting to play.
So he's already signed?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to say that...
Giolito, what do you think of him? He's a risk.
Well,
right?
He was supposed to be tremendous, but he petered out last year.
All right, his ADP is 207. Okay, that's freaking late in drafts. All right, so let's move on from there. He hasn't been good in a couple years, but he definitely eats the innings. He pitched 184 innings last year, and he allowed less hits than innings pitched. That's an easy formula for anybody because it's usually right next door to the innings pitched. You could see hits. If the hits are lower than the innings pitched, it's a good sign immediately, okay? And he did allow less hits than innings pitched.
Well,
so you got that going for him.
Giolito was on track.
Holy moly, he's bad.
Giolito was so good. He was on track for a 9-figure deal that went up in smoke. Then he had back-to-back seasons in 22 and 23 that were terrible.
Yes.
So he's in the market now to try to reprove himself so he can get back to a deal in the range that he wants it. Okay?
His FIP was worse than his ERA, you people. It was 5.11. His ERA was horrible, 4.88, and his freaking FIP was worse. So I'm looking at his home and away splits for Giolito, right? In 2023, his ERA was 3.58 at home and 6.07 on the road. But the year before that, in 2022, it was the exact opposite. 6.08 at home and 3.83 on the road. It makes no sense because, immediately I look to see, well, does it matter where he pitches? Maybe he's better in a different park. But his ERA splits are completely opposite. They do not say one thing about him.
Well, that's true.
Anyway, Giolito, I'll take a hard pass, dude.
Okay, as we are moving along, I will say to the chat room, thank you once again for being here. Now, I'm going to start now. We would love to hear from you and wish you a Merry Christmas.
Yes, you could call us.
You can call us now at 6...
wait, let me just put it in the chat room. I like telling everybody.
Give us a call. If you have a question, great. If you don't have a question, that's okay. Wish you a Happy New Year. That's what it's all about. 631-406-7141. We're more than happy to take your calls, and we really appreciate your patience with us. Sometimes we're a little out there. We appreciate you listening, and we appreciate your support.
Okay, we're going to talk about Dylan Cease for a minute. Because Boston Paul says he loves Dylan Cease next year. Mm-hmm. When you say that you love somebody, do me a favor and give just one of your arguments about why you love the person. Because you have to have a reason, right? And then we'll decide if we think that your reason is valid or not, right? So you go to Dylan Cease. Let's take a look at him. 4.58 ERA with a 1.42 whip last year. Dylan Cease had a great season, and then he didn't do good at all. He had one great season, right? 2022, he had a 2.20 ERA. That's fine. What does he do? All I have to do is scroll down the page at my handy RotoWire.
What,
okay.
214 strikeouts? That's elite. He's 27 years old. He struggled to a 4.5 ERA and a 1.42 whip.
Yeah.
But he finished strong. This is what got Dylan Cease back up there.
Okay.
He had a 1.93 ERA,
all right.
101 whip, 31 strikeouts in 23 innings over his last 4 starts.
Okay, so he did finish the season on a good note.
Yes, he did.
We got that going.
631-406-7141.
I put this image in the chat room. This is how easy it is to read this stuff. You see the green and red bars, you can immediately tell if the pitcher is good or not as good. And it's not really about stuff, it's about in comparison to the rest of the pitchers in the league, right? How does he do alongside him? I do, obviously.
Zelmo is here.
Look at his spin rate.
Look at this. Wait a second. Triple play is here. Zelmo is here.
All right.
Holy cow. No.
Brewer
right.
Jim, great to see you.
Sorry about
Zelmo
that.
and Tony, Merry Christmas.
Zelmo, where's your
Mythical,
brother?
Laura,
Your brother?
dude, Merry Christmas to everybody. We just love it, okay?
Yep. Okay.
But take a look at Dylan Cease. You can easily see some of these numbers. It's not all the important things to look at. But look at it. Immediately you could tell where this guy struggles and where he's good. But then you got to look at other things. I just like to, we don't get paid by RotoWire, but that's a great place to go.
Yes, it
and
is.
the people that run it are great people. Okay, that we have a lot of respect for these people. So anyway, there you go. Turd makes good points, right? Always. Turd.
Yes.
Merry Christmas to the Turd family.
Now, another player who has a lot of teams interested in him, and he could really come back and have a very good season, and that is Matt Chapman. And the team that I am told is in the running and in the lead, whatever that means. I don't even know what it means, but Matt Chapman to the Chicago Cubs is something that I'm hearing about. Very strong.
Let me check out Matt Chapman.
Go ahead.
Absolutely.
Matt
I
Chapman.
thought he had more power than this. Last year
he
only,
does. Go ahead.
he only hit 17 home runs, and he's always batting at the low. His average is always on the low side of good. But what happened to him? Did he not play all year? He only got 54. Matt Chapman must have been hurt. Hold on a minute. Matt Chapman, 140 games, 581 plate appearances. He only got 54 RBIs, 66 runs.
How many home runs?
What a joke. 17. This is a horrible stats for Matt Chapman, especially since he must have been hitting at the bottom of the lineup. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
He's a free agent now, so he just did not fit. It was like Lourdes Gurriel. Lourdes Gurriel got stuck at the bottom of that lineup. I don't know where Matt... let me see. RotoWire will also tell you where he hit in the lineup. Look at him. He hit 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th in the lineup. But Matt Chapman, what a disappointing thing for me. I really was... When I think of Matt Chapman, I assume 30 home runs. What happened to him?
First of all, it's not his age. He's only 30.
Okay.
Okay. And he ended the season very weak. But he did have 4 home runs in his last 12 games.
Okay. Well, we'll give him a pass. So, do you think that he could go crush it again like he did in Oakland?
Well, I think he could wind up with Chicago, and that could be a big deal, okay?
The Cubbies, right? The Cubbies, I could see the Cubbies Twitter too, which is X now, but the Cubbies X people. You know, they see their front office spending like $80 million on a manager or something like that, or $40 million. Forgive me if I'm not getting the millions of dollars correct.
That's okay.
But they spent a bunch of money on a manager. They overpaid him, some would say, and they haven't done anything this offseason. So these people were given some hope when they saw that they were going to spend so much on council.
Okay, so what do you want to do today?
Well, today I have to clean the house. I'm going to make some turkey chili.
Go ahead.
I have to wrap a bunch of presents for tomorrow. And I'll probably have to mop the floor, too.
Mop the floor.
What are you doing today?
I'm answering the phones.
Okay, Leonard.
631-406-7141. That's the phone number. And once again, we thank you all and everybody. And
we love it. Well, we are going to be back tomorrow, no matter what he tries to say, even if it's just for a few minutes to say Merry Christmas. Because I'm telling the truth when I say that we have not shown up for a podcast since I've known you, basically.
Okay.
I don't think it's ever been a time where we just didn't do it.
Okay, we'll see what happens. A happy holiday to everybody. Anybody have any questions you want to put in the chat room? Anybody have any questions you'd like to call? 631-406-7141. King Hap just joined us, so we can't leave now.
I know. There's the Christmas poop.
What?
That's the Christmas poop. Or what is it? South Park sometimes runs here all day long. And so there's days when I never used to watch it, but it is funny. And I know that poop. That Christmas poop from South Park.
I didn't see that. But all I know is that a lot of talk in the chat room how Giolito was a former stud. Some people think he will come back. So what do you do in that case? He was on his way to being a stud, and then he fell off the ladder.
Who?
Giolito. What do you think of a guy like Giolito coming back?
Well, I just told you what I think of him because his splits are really hard. There is no telling what he'll do, and who knows where he'll be going. His FIP was worse than his horrible ERA last year. He's not really proven that he could do this more because he did it several years ago, and it's becoming long history now. Giolito, I'm not buying into it. And maybe if he goes to San Francisco. In that case, I would honestly consider it because I've seen San Francisco turn pitchers around. Like Gaussman, like I've seen them excellent with pitchers like Logan Webb. When pitchers go to San Francisco, it's harder. It's a pitcher's dream home, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. And speaking of dream home, the Chicago White Sox don't have a second baseman. So I think it's very easy to speculate that Whit Merrifield will be the second baseman.
Mr. Hanky.
Who?
Mr. Hanky the Christmas poo. Right. That's right.
Whit Merrifield, okay? White Sox finished with, by far, the lowest R-WAR in baseball, minus 24. Whit Merrifield has been of interest to the White Sox for a while.
Whit Merrifield.
I say that Whit Merrifield goes to the White Sox. He's a great pickup because the playing time will be all his. Whit Merrifield.
Depending on where he's going, let's take a look at Whit Merrifield's ADP at this stage of the game. Thanks
Merrill
to the good people at RotoWire.
Merrill and Mitchell are here.
Who are we talking about?
Whit Merrifield.
Yeah, Merrifield. I like him too at the right price. Everybody is at the right price. Okay, what's he doing? $249 ADP. I'm in. I'll take me some Whit Merrifield, $249 overall. No doubt about it every day of Christmas.
And he's going to steal
26 stolen bases last year, 11 home runs. He bats okay. He will keep your batting average in check. He gets to play every day. No matter where he goes, he will get to play. But he is entering age 35, so when are these stolen bases going to start slipping away? Maybe that's why he's so low on the ADP.
And finally, let's just speculate. Where do you think Blake Snell is going?
The biggest question to me is how much is he going to get paid? You can't just only pay Japanese guys the big dough. We're talking about a Cy Young Award winner now here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Where is Blake Snell going?
I don't know. Is he going to get paid $300 million?
Well, he's not going to get paid that kind of money, but
Yamamoto is 25, so I get that argument too. But what about
Rumor
Snell.
has it that the Angels are making a push for Blake Snell.
Anybody in their right mind
Well,
would want him at this
We'll
point.
see. So that's that, and then you got. Here's a player that I'm going after right now, Tim Anderson.
No way.
I think Tim Anderson is a lock
He's
to
got
sign
problems.
with the Miami Marlins.
Miami
Okay,
Marlins.
that's
and
right.
then he's going to be stuck in Miami. What about Jorge Soler? Speaking of, he hasn't signed anywhere.
No,
He's a
but
big deal. He should go to Arizona where the bats are
he
kicking.
probably could, but I will tell you that Anderson to what team did I say?
Who knows?
Come on,
Miami. You said
Anderson to
the
Miami.
Yeah.
Etch it in your kitchen table. It's almost a lock. Okay, you got that?
Someone will take Tim Anderson, but dude, he's a mess.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about?
That's it.
Okay.
I don't have
Thank you,
anything else.
everybody. That's it. Time to clean up the house. We're having people here.
Time to answer the phones.
We're having people here tomorrow. Time to answer the phone. 631-406-7141. It's okay if you don't call because we're done.
I mean, it's okay if you spam us too, because we get spam calls all day.
All day. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much.
Merry Christmas. We'll see you tomorrow for a minute. But those of you who will be absent, we wish you the merriest of times with your family tomorrow.
See you later, everybody. Thank you. Happy holiday.
No, it's Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Exactly.